Friends like to eat meals together and take adventures together and ask interesting questions together. That sounds pretty good.
I'll do today.
That's what we do. Hello, church. I'm Gigi, Perry's daughter and Ben's sister, and I'm here to share story time with children young and old, and the story I've picked is called The Antlered Ship.
I think on your what? Oh no! It's ruined everything.
This is a story about a whole bunch of animals on a ship. And I bet you can think of another story in the Bible that had a whole bunch of animals on a boat. I've often wondered, how did those animals get along? How did you have the meat eaters and the plant eaters all together on this big boat for so long without trouble?
I think so, yeah! I'm ready.
Arg, matey. All right, let's read the book.
Here. The sails.
This is a story called The Antlered Ship, written by Dashka Slater and illustrated by the Fan Brothers. The day the antlered ship arrived, Marco wondered about the wide world. He had so many questions. Why do some songs make you happy and others make you sad? Why don't trees ever talk? How deep does the sun go when it sinks into the sea? But when he posed these questions to the other foxes, they grew silent. What does that have to do with chicken stew, they would ask. They didn't really understand Marco the fox. So Marco went down to the harbor to see the ship. 3 deer greeted him at the gangplank. Marco was not surprised to learn that they were lost. We hope to hire a seaworthy crew, explained Sylvia the captain. I'm afraid we are not very good sailors. Oh, I will join you, Marco said. He thought to himself, I will search the seas for foxes who know the answers to my questions. A pigeon named Victor volunteered along with his entire flock. We want to have adventures, they cooed. Welcome aboard, Captain Sylvia said. We're going to a wonderful island with tall, sweet grass and short, sweet trees. When we get there, we will eat a delectable dinner. But the voyage was more difficult than anyone expected. It rained and waves crashed over the sides of the deck. Why is water so wet? Marco wondered. Pigeons weren't used to the hard work of raising and lowering the sails. After the first day, they went below decks to play checkers and stayed there. The deer worried about sharp rocks and fierce pirates and feeling seasick. They huddled in the bow and waited for something bad to happen. Oh, they're so worried. After days of drifting and dining on crackers, the animals were damp and cranky. Oh, you should have stayed in the woods, Sylvia said. Deer are not supposed to go to sea. Oh, you should have stayed in the park, added Victor. Pigeons aren't supposed to do hard labor. Marco eyed the deer and the pigeons. And foxes aren't supposed to be vegetarian, he said. Still, we must do the best we can. That evening, Marco found a recipe book in the galley and cooked a warm and reviving stew. Should we look at the charts, he asked, after everyone had eaten. We might find adventure here, said Victor. and trouble here, said Sylvia. But we'll find the island with tall, sweet grass and short, sweet trees here. And perhaps foxes too, Marco thought. Foxes with answers. As they plotted their course, the wind picked up. The storm clouds thinned into marvelous swirls. Raise the sails, cried Sylvia. In the morning they came to the maze of sharp rocks, each one large enough to tear the bottom from the boat. But the pigeons flew ahead, tracing a path through the shoal and sharp rocks to the safety of the open sea. The next afternoon, a pirate ship burst from behind a rocky island. Turn over your treasure, the pirate captain bellowed, or we'll put a hole in your helm. Lower the antlers, Sylvia commanded. The ships clashed and crashed and smashed until the pirates turned and fled. That evening, an island appeared on the horizon with tall waving grasses and short swaying trees. We've found it, Sylvia cried. We've triumphed, Victor cooed. Do you see any foxes? Marco asked. The deer grazed the grass and nibbled the trees. The pigeons told stories of their adventures to a flock of admiring seagulls. And Marco scoured the island for foxes. But he didn't find any. I have failed, Marco told Victor and Sylvia. No foxes. No one to answer my questions. What questions? Victor asked. Marco took a deep breath. Do islands like being alone? Do waves look more like horses or swans? And what's the best way to find a friend you can talk to? Well, the last one is easy, Sylvia said. You make friends by eating together. Oh, I disagree, said Victor. You make friends by having adventures together. Maybe you're both right, Marco said. But I think you make friends by asking them questions. Well then, mused Sylvia, should we head home tomorrow or should we visit the island of Scrumptious Shrubbery? Are 2 adventures enough? Asked Victor, or should we have at least one more? Is it better to know what's going to happen, wondered Marco, or better to be surprised? There were so many questions left to answer and so many more to ask. So in the morning, they raised the anchor and hoisted the heavy sails. They knew now that the wind would come and go, the clouds would sometimes make marvelous swirls, and that everything they hoped to find could be found aboard an antlered ship. On the way to wherever they were going. Well, I hope you enjoyed the story. There were so many interesting things to think about and pictures that will go with you into your day. I think about this lonely fox and how he got along with other foxes not so well. They weren't like him and they didn't get him, and that was okay. That was okay. He could voyage on and find unique friends who weren't exactly like him in appearance, but understood who he was. And how he overcame his nature to not gobble up the pigeons or attack the deer. That was interesting. And then, what do you do when you're out at sea and you run into actual enemies like pirates? Do you think that a fox could have been a friend with the pirate?
No.
No? They couldn't be friends with the pirates?
Because they'll just tap them.
What will they do?
Just tap them.
Trap them?
Yeah, trap them and
Trap.
touch them and eat them.
Ooh, that's horrible.
So we can't be friends with pirates, though.
Well, that's all from us in our little ship, and I hope you have happy sailing and many wonderful questions on your day today. Bye, friends. Foxes have a lot of questions, eh? Just like you. Are you always asking Mommy questions?
It's bed busted. Hey, nobody touched the fox.
Did he have a question for you?